Hi Scorpio, and welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name's Carol, and this is going to be a reading for January 2024. And it felt really weird saying that. So I hope you were able to see my reading for December 2023, because this is a brand new channel. So if you're coming back to my channel, and if you subscribed, thank you and welcome back. So what I want to look at today is we're going to look at what sort of patterns or situations you're in that you're bringing over to 2024 from 2023 that you still haven't resolved, that you want to resolve. And so we're going to look at what kind of energy you're sitting in. And then I'm going to look at your shadow and see if we can determine what's coming up from your shadow that needs to be healed, that's related to the situation that you're sitting with. And then I'm going to ask the tarot for some guidance. And I'll also give you some guidance from my other channel called Carol Cares. And I'll leave you with a video for you to watch if you want to go over to that other channel to help you with your situation. So, and then I'm going to leave you with an oracle card, a spirit animal at the end. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with the top row, and I'm going to ask tarot to give me a card or two to reflect the energy that you're sitting with right now. So what energy is Scorpio sitting with? And I have 4 cards, so that's a few too many. So I'm going to try that again. What energy is Scorpio sitting with right now? And I got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse for you. And what's coming up from your shadow? What's coming up from your shadow? I have the 21. I have the World card in reverse. And let's have some guidance from the tarot, please. Let's have some guidance from the tarot. I just like to take 1 to 3 cards here. All right, we have the Fool that's come out for you for some guidance. Looks like you're going to have to be taking a little leap maybe for you for some guidance here. All right, so let's look at these 3 cards that have come out for you right now. 8 of Pentacles in reverse here. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. So take a look at this card. We're going to look at this card upright first of all. And this card is a beautiful card. The 8 of Pentacles, for me, the Pentacles can be about your workspace. It can be about your health. It has everything to do with the body, your material world. And here this number 8. This number 8, for me, the number 8 represents these infinite possibilities for you. And this particular individual looks like she's sitting at her workspace. It looks like she's probably, someone that's doing what she really loves to do. So she's chosen a work situation for herself where she's quite content to sit there and sometimes, for hours on end and not really be the type of person that's going to say, oh, I hate my job. I wish I didn't have to work so much. I don't get enough money. And so she's sitting here quite content in her workplace. And for you, this card has come in reverse. So what that means to me is that you're sitting in a situation, your present energy has a lot to do with, it sounds like we're going to talk about your work situation. And, maybe it's a job that you're looking at leaving and getting a new job. Maybe you want to apply for a higher position in your workplace. And, maybe you're just thinking there's something else that you want to do. There's something else that you want to do. And sometimes we get that nudge where it's just, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm not happy with my situation. And then what happens is a lot of times we get stuck in a job that we just, it's not really bringing us anything. Other than maybe it's, we're stuck because it brings in the paycheck for us. And sometimes we can get stuck in a job where it's a very good paycheck, but it's not what we want to be doing, but I just feel like sometimes we don't have the courage to step out and do what we want to do for a lot of reasons. So that looks like the situation you're sitting in for your current energy. And you got the world card for your, that's coming out, but there's a world card in reverse that's coming out for you in your shadow. Now the world card to me, I don't know if you can see it if I focus in close enough here. I think you can. I can see it. So she has these patterns behind her, and it almost looks like, I like to think of this as the spirograph that I received when I was a young child. And actually I looked it up on Google the other day and they still have it. So because you can make all these kind of patterns for yourself, right? As a child, you could go in there and, you know, if you didn't think you're much of an artist, and maybe you did think you're an artist, and you can make all these things, these different patterns every time. And so this tells me that your shadow, and your shadow is unseen. It lives in your unconscious mind. You don't know what's in there. It's things that you've buried away as a child and as an adolescent. So, you know, for example, you know, maybe you were told as a child that, you know, you'd never make it as an artist, or you weren't a good artist, or maybe you wanted to write a book and you thought, oh, I'm a good writer. And, you know, you had someone that really didn't encourage or didn't support that around you. And so this card that's come up in for your shadow card in reverse, saying, you know, there are so many infinite creative possibilities for you out there. And it's in reverse because it's blocked. And that's what happens is, you know, people think that when you work on your shadow, when you go on this healing journey, I think there's this consensus out there that there's a lot of stuff in your shadow that you don't want to see. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in your shadow that you don't want to see. There's a lot of emotions, a lot of scary stuff, especially if you come from a lot of trauma. And everybody has trauma on a continuum. And so, yes, there is healing in there. But once you start to heal, the beautiful thing about going on this healing journey and, you know, bringing up this stuff from your shadow that you've buried when you were younger is that you start to find some magnificent gifts in there that you didn't even know you had. And that's the beauty of this work, is that, you know, this is what it's saying is you have some gifts here. You have gifts in your shadow that's sitting there that you probably or may not know about. And what's happening is, you know, you're sitting in this workspace right now and you're wondering, you know, maybe there's something else I'm supposed to be doing. And so I can already see that the universe is saying, you know, it's time to take a leap and have faith, and maybe it's time to go out and try something different. And maybe you know what it is. You know what it is in your mind, what you want to do. And so this is very interesting. It's not, usually I don't get this clarity about your reading, but I'm seeing that's very clear here what's going on with you. So I'm going to take the tarot, the Rider-Waite, and I'm going to clarify these three cards for you. So can I have some clarification for the Eight of Pentacles, please? I think I'm going to shuffle first. I did that before I came on, but it's telling me to shuffle a bit. I'm just going to shuffle a couple times. And then I'll get some clarification. Ooh, well, came fire now. All right, so clarification for the Eight of Pentacles, please. Let's have some clarification for the Eight of Pentacles. You have the Hanged Man in reverse. The Hanged Man in reverse. Okay, a couple more cards, please, to go with this Hanged Man. You have the Hermit card, number 5, the Hermit card. Sorry, 5 of Cups, which reminds me of the Hermit card. 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups. Hermit card has that lantern. And we have, it was coming out this way. All right, we have the 8 of Cups for you, the 8 of Cups. All right, so that's your present energy. Let's have some clarification for the World, please. This World card. You have the 2 of Pentacles. The 2 of Pentacles. A couple more cards, please. You have the Devil, and you have the 3 of Swords in reverse. The Fool, please. The Fool. You have the 7 of Pentacles. lot of cards here. All right, so this one came out first, so actually it wants me to put these in between. All right, you have the Seven of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Nine of Swords in reverse, and the Nine of Cups in reverse. So let's take a look at this. What I want to do is I'm going to look at your present energy first, and then I'll bring this in. All right, so I think you can, that may be difficult to see. Okay, so let's look at the present energy right here. Okay, so we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse as our top card, our top layer, and this is all about your workspace. I think that you're really thinking about. This seems to be this card, this reading is focused on that. And your first card for, your workspace, what you do for a living, is the Hangman in reverse here. So the Hangman upright would be, if you look at this particular individual, he's quite comfortable hanging there. He's quite comfortable with himself because he trusts his inner self. He's very much in his body, and so he trusts his inner guidance. And it looks like you're not trusting because this is in reverse. I'm getting the sense that, you're feeling like you want to do something different. And maybe it's a creative, maybe, you might want to go out and do something it's kind of very unique, something that you've been thinking about doing, a project or, something job related, something, just a new lifestyle that you want to do maybe. And you're just not feeling comfortable. You're not trusting your inner guidance. You're not trusting yourself. And the Five of Cups is saying, look at this Five of Cups, and this particular individual is focusing on these Three of Cups that are sitting here, that are spilled, and he can't see these other two that are upright. We seem to always tend to focus on the situation that we're in, and if we focus too much on the situation we're in, then we can't see out, and we can't see that bridge over there, right, that has a silver lining. We can't see all that city and that water flowing here, those, and the water represents our unconscious or our emotions that need to flow out. And sometimes when we get stuck in this place that we're in, and a lot of times our emotions will get stuck with it. And it looks like, there's some feelings of real hopelessness going on here. But the good thing about this card is that it's a 5. And 5s for me, they bring a lot of conflict. They bring a lot of emotional pain sometimes, a lot of times. And but there's change here. There's change on the other side of that bridge, that with the silver lining here. But we don't see it because we're too focused on the situation that we're in right now. And so the Eight of Cups comes up, which is a really nice card, because this individual has said, I think it's time to walk away. Like, I'm walking away now. I've sort of had enough of this situation. So I'm really feeling strongly that you're on the edge of walking away from this job that you're doing, from this situation that you're doing that relates to what you want to do next. Like, it's like you're on the edge of doing it, but you just don't quite trust yourself yet that this is what you're supposed to be doing. And that is so hard, because when we're living in this feeling of feeling stuck in this situation, of focusing on it, it's really hard sometimes to see the outside, to see where this can bring you, and especially if you're not trusting your inner guidance. So let's see what the shadow is telling us here about, how we can start, what's coming up in your shadow that's telling you why you can't trust your inner guidance, or is telling you, why you're afraid to go to that direction that the tarot is asking you to go. So we see that we have this World card with all these infinite possibilities for you. And then the Two of Pentacles is our first card that comes up. And the Two of Pentacles has this juggler right now, first of all, and he's unbalanced, right? He's not on his 2 feet. So I'm seeing that there is an unbalanced position that you're sitting here right now, and I'm gonna say you're ungrounded. And because you have a choice to make here, right? There's a choice here that's being made for you, that's happening for you. We already have seen this. There's a choice here that's happening for you. And you can see the number 8 figure here, the lemniscate that he's juggling. And there are so many infinite possibilities for you. So many infinite possibilities for you. And you're just really up in your head trying to figure out what's going on. And, maybe there's a lot of distractions here. Because this Devil card, boy, he can come in. He can come in when you have a lot of things out there that will distract you from this decision that you're needing to make. And a lot of times it can be our addictions that will pop up. Sometimes it can be toxic relationships, but it's something that really is going to distract you from your decision that you need to make. Excuse me. So, and you probably know what it is because we all have it. We can be scrolling on our phone. We can be numbing out on, different substances. Mine was always food and still is sometimes. And it's just when we have these strong emotions, these strong desires that come up, when we just need something to calm it, and that's when the Devil comes up. And so, in what's coming up, the last card, and explains a bit here, is your Three of Swords, which is in reverse. So, your Three of Swords normally just tells us about, you know what, you go on this journey, and there's going to be pain, and because you have to feel your emotions. And there is pain and there are emotions, and it's interesting that I talked about that earlier on. In your shadow, you do have emotions that are painful that need to come up, and that's how we heal. So what this is telling me is that, and it's in reverse for you, so there is a real resistance to going in your shadow and to find out, what is it that, I want to do something here. I want to change my lifestyle. I want to change my workplace. I want to do something that I want to do, finally. And I want to put me first. But there's some real resistance to doing that. And a lot of times when this happens is we really have to go inwards. We really have to learn how to ground ourselves and get back into our bodies. That's what grounding means, is to get back in your body so that you can start to feel some of these emotions that are coming out and blocking you from doing what you want to do. Maybe younger, you couldn't do what you wanted to do. If you were in a controlling situation, we have controlling parents sometimes, controlling caretakers, and maybe you weren't allowed to do what you wanted to do. Maybe society said, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be doing this. Well, it says, there you got to get back into your body. And you're going to have to feel some of these things. You have to clear out feelings and emotions and belief systems sometimes when it comes to wanting to do something new for yourself. Otherwise, you can sit on it forever and never take it out. When I did this tarot, when I started this channel in December, I just didn't start it. I had to go through so many emotions and so many clearing out of some trauma, because I have complex trauma. So for me to get to being able to do what I wanted to do, which was to read tarot, I had to go through so much. This is exactly my journey here that I had to go through. And so for you to do what you want to do, whatever it is, that change you want to do in your workplace, it seems like, you need to go get back in your body and really start to feel the emotions, or get in touch with, what it is that's blocking you, that's not allowing you to do this. And so you have quite a few cards here that have come out for you for some guidance for the tarot, which is nice. So yeah, the Fool comes out as the main card, and we talked about that, a bit. This Fool card, it looks like she's going to fall off that cliff. It just takes a light push for her just to fall off. And she has this amethyst sitting, this strength that she's holding in her hand. And she's quite, she has the faith that the universe has her back. And the fool's journey will come out. The fool in my readings will come out only when there's a major push, a major change of direction, or a transformation that needs to take place. And this is the universe that's coming out and saying, you know what? You have to take that leap of faith. Once you go inwards, once you start to deal with what is blocking, what is the resistance, why won't you take this change? And that's what the universe is saying. You need to take that leap of faith. It's time. It's time to just do it. And if it's a small step towards it, and that's all it's going to take. Because you have this first card is, this explains everything to me when I look at these cards. This first card right here that's come out for you is the Seven of Pentacles. And this particular individual has spent so much time hoeing this whole harvest right here of pentacles that he has, right? And looking at him, he has all these pentacles. He's sitting there and going, oh, I finally have all this money. I have all this harvest, this pentacles is beautiful. He probably should have a smile on his face, but he doesn't. He's not. He's looking at the pile and going like, is this everything? Like, is this is all I got? It's all I have? Like, he's not content. He's not happy. And the universe knows, the tarot says, you're not happy sitting here with what you have. You're just not. And the next card that comes in is another 7. And I will say that 7s for me are about that introspection, that self-awareness that we need to have about ourselves. Because this particular individual looks like he's raided the camp here in the background, and he's running away with 5 swords in his hand. And, it's quite dangerous because look at the way he's holding on to these swords. He's holding on to them from the point here. And swords for me has everything to do with our mental thoughts, has everything to do with our belief systems, our patternings. And those are the things that enter into our head when we're ready to make a big change. And this particular individual is running away and he's thinking, oh, I've got all these 5 swords. And he's running away with these swords, these belief systems that we picked up when we were younger, is what these are. Because that's what swords are. So when you were younger, there was somebody that told you that you couldn't do, weren't allowed to do. It's a ridiculous idea of what you want to do right now. And that's what's sitting in your shadow. And maybe there's some real grief around it. Sometimes and this is in reverse, remember, sometimes we can have some anger that's sitting there. I know for me, I had to get angry. I had to get angry at the people that told me that I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And that was sitting in my shadow. Because as a young person, you wouldn't have been able to deal with that anger, or in my case, I wasn't allowed to show that anger. And so I buried that anger. And behind it was a lot of grief for me. And that was blocked. And so my anger, when I did get angry, I have a hard time getting in touch with my own anger. It would spew out on people in ways that I didn't want it to because I had a lot of grief to deal with. And so that's why this is coming up for you, because I see like the devil is kind of, that would really numb out this grief, or sometimes the anger that wants to come out at these people that told you couldn't do what you wanted to do, or you weren't allowed to do it. And now it's coming up for you, maybe, as an adult, and you're going, well, I want to do this now, but I was told I wasn't allowed to. And there's this big resistance to it, like literally, and I'm not lying. When I came here one time and I sat at this table and tried to do readings, I couldn't. There was this huge block for me that said, you're not allowed. And I had to go inwards more and had to go deeper and dig out. What were those emotions? What were those belief systems that told me I couldn't do this? And so Scorpio, the last 3 cards for you is the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords, for me, my pages, all my court cards are parts of us. This is a very young part of you that's coming out with a sword. And the sword has anything to do with authenticity. You know, the sword is what's going to cut through all this bullshit that told you that you weren't allowed to do this. This is what this sword is going to do for you. And it's the beginning. It's the beginning of getting at these belief systems that were false, that you adopted, that you ran away with, because that's what people told you. They told you you couldn't do this. And so that's what's going to be, you know, this is the kind of stuff that's sitting in our shadow that has to come out, but we got to feel around it. And, you know, the 9 of Swords comes up, you know, you have quite a 3 cards, you have 5 cards for clarification, and 3 of them are swords. And that tells me that there's a lot of mental stuff going on here as far as this new thing that you want to do. And it's really, the 9 of Swords here is in reverse. Upright, it means, you know, this has really been painful for you. You're really like, maybe it's keeping you up at night, but it's just causing you a lot of pain. You have them all lined up here, all these swords. You know all those swords right here? You know all these swords that you collected and you ran away with when you were younger? Now they're sitting here right here. They're haunting you, you know? Because what's happening is you're sitting here at night, or whenever it is, you want to do this. You want to do this new thing for yourself. And here they all lined up going, nope, can't do it. This one says, no, you're not allowed to. No, you shouldn't do that. No, that wouldn't bring you any money. Are you crazy? We're not allowed to do that. All these swords, all these belief systems here. This is all of them coming up here. And you got them all piled neatly up, one on top of the other. You know, you're almost like done in here with it. This is the number 9. The number 10 is when he has all the swords sitting in his back. And it's like you're at a point where this decision that you have to make is spinning you out of control. And we talked about the spirograph here, right? Spinning. Oh, the 10 of Cups comes for you as a last card as your guidance. And it says, upright, the 10 of Cups for me, it's all about emotions. It's all about our desires. It's about our dreams. It's what we want to do. You know, it's about putting ourselves first and doing what we want to do and doing what we love. And sorry, it's not the 10 of Cups, it's the 9 of Cups. So the 9 of Cups is very important because the 10 of Cups, let's just talk about that. For some reason I was meant to talk about that. The 10 of Cups would be that range of emotion that we're supposed to experience, right? Emotions are supposed to flow in and flow out. We're not supposed to get stuck. They're not supposed to get stuck in us like this and become ungrounded and sit in our unconscious. They're meant to come up and we feel them, and that's how we let them go. And you have the 9 of Cups in reverse. And so the 9 of Cups in reverse is the initiation card into feeling that full range of 10 emotions, right? And yours is in reverse. The 9 is the initiation card that almost gets us in there. You see, because this particular individual is sitting here and he has all these 9 of Cups, if you want. He has all these 9 of emotions lined up here. He's sitting there with his arms crossed. And a lot of times I used to be called on this when sometimes I would sit comfortably with my arms crossed. And for some people, that's like, it sets a barrier between you and another person. And it's like, nope, don't want any more. No, thank you. Don't want any more emotions. Not ready to deal with anymore. I'm quite content with where I am. Thank you very much. But this is the 9, because underneath that blue cover here, there's some more emotions. But your emotions are blocked, right? I think we've established that, where you have these blocked emotions that you need to get to, unfortunately, before you can bring out this new change that you want to do. And that is the only way that you're going to get there. So what I want to do for you before I will pull a card for you, an oracle card, I want to recommend some journaling videos for you. And in particular, how to journal from your emotions, you know. I know I've given you grounding in December, but grounding, you can go back to that video. Once you get on my channel, Carol Cares, there's lots of videos that tell you how to ground. There are 2 tools that I use in my recovery and my shadow work journey are grounding and journaling, and they're equally as important. So I'm going to suggest now some journaling for you. And because I really want you to get in touch with those emotions that's blocking you, because I can see you right on the edge of wanting to do something for yourself, which is amazing. But you have some belief systems in there that are blocking you from doing what you want to do. And you got to get in there and work at that anger and work at that grief because the people told you couldn't do it. Weren't allowed to. Stupid idea. Something's in there, and only you know. It's your shadow, and only you can do the work. So let's have an oracle card for you. I got two here that have come out for you. I have the brown bear spirit, which says, take time out. Take time out for yourself and start to do some grounding, and then do some journaling from what is coming up. Because when you ground yourself, there are emotions that are going to come out. Grounding does not mean it's going to be all zen and happy. It's not what it means. And that's why a lot of people don't do grounding, because it brings up emotions. And so you need to carve some time out from your busy schedule. Maybe you have a busy job, but you need to get some time out for yourself. And here's the other one. Here's the believe in yourself card. Believe in yourself. This is what this whole this whole Fool card is about. It's about having faith that you can do this, but you'll only get there when you go inwards and you start to feel your emotions. Emotions is what's going to get you there, and you're going to need to learn how to write from those emotions. And I promise you, it'll work. So take care and best of luck, and I will talk to you next month.